The first tax-funded reparations plan for Black Americans continues to spark debate.
They should pay it because it's the right thing to do. I don't believe that we can be the America that we are supposed to be unless we start to pay that moral debt.
Redlining, apartheid, which was Jim Crow segregation, slavery, these were what were considered crimes against humanity. And how do you return the dignity back to a people whose dignity was eroded as a result of the crimes that were committed?
A new PBS documentary, The Big Payback, recounts how passing the U.S.'s first municipally funded reparations legislation for Black residents in 2019 impacted the community of Evanston, Illinois.
Via Evanston's budget, there is a reparation fund line item. That's really exciting.
Filmmakers Erica Alexander and Whitney Dow show viewers how Robin Rue Simmons, former alderman of Evanston's 5th Ward, worked tirelessly to launch the local reparations restorative housing program, the municipal fund's first initiative.
Being from the 5th Ward, which is the historically segregated Black part of Evanston, I had a different lived experience than the average white Evanstonian. That's really informed all of my professional life choices. And it really wasn't until 2019 that it evolved to reparations, to realizing that no amount of public policy, civil rights, equity could get us to repair and the justice for the harms, and that it had to be specific and targeted reparative justice and reparation.
The $10 million fund, which is fueled by both donations and the proceeds from Evanston's recreational cannabis sales tax, has faced backlash from members of the community who oppose reparations, as well as some Black residents who would prefer direct payments over the housing program.
Opposition against reparation, it's mostly political. But then we have some legitimate opinions about forms of reparations and should we have reparations. And so dealing with the opposition as an elected leader, especially as a local elected leader, you learn to listen and apply helpful feedback, whether it is similar in thinking or not. You learn to apply that and you learn to dismiss what are simply distractions. So I heard every critique, I heard every bit of feedback, and our committee has applied it in different ways. It will be a long struggle to repair. We know that no one initiative that we pass is a settlement and that we're building on the work.
I want us to forever remember that there is no amount of money that they can pay us for what our people have endured.
A lot of people see reparations as being a handout, and they may not be educated inside of what it really is, or they may be very well educated and still see it as like, well, let's get ourselves together. Let's stop asking for things. Why can we keep waiting for them to do the right thing? We shouldn't have to keep doing it on our own. We built this nation on our backs, and we keep being told that we have to do everything by ourselves as opposed to being part of the inheritance that we created.
According to the Washington Post, in the 3 years since the fund was approved, only $400,000 has been spent, and only 16 people have been paid, despite hundreds waiting. Organizers maintain they are just getting started, and that the people the fund has helped so far have been able to improve their quality of life in a number of ways.
I'm a part of a movement, a national movement, one that has great momentum to finally grapple with the injury inflicted by slavery and the deep-seated racism that we endure today.
Beyond Evanston, Simmons's local efforts have inspired national reverberations as other cities seek to respond to centuries of slavery and systemic racism with reparative justice for Black Americans.
We haven't addressed all of the issues of this nation, but we have began a path with a framework and a model that we know is viable, can be replicated, and now hold Congress accountable to do the same on a national scale. Is what we're going to need is a national initiative.
For us to move forward, everyone in our community, all Americans, need to commit to reconciling with that past.
The Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposals for African Americans Act, or H.R. 40, has been sitting in Congress for decades. The legislation is currently sponsored by Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, who also appears in the film.
We were so excited when we saw the legislation. In fact, we have used it in presentations that we've made. Wow. I used your outstanding construct. You've been, Councilmember, a real hero to me.
I hope that after they watch this movie, they go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. And hopefully you'll be inspired by it and moved by it, and your ambitions will push you forward. Also, for white Americans to understand, as Sheila Jackson Lee says in the movie, it's not just about pain and suffering and feeling bad about it. That so there is something you can do about it, but knowing that history makes you understand yourself better. It makes you see the world differently. And I think to put on different glasses, better glasses that are not nearsighted, that's what I hope people do. I hope they come together and collaborate with each other and start to get these initiatives done locally. But I also hope that they write a letter to their congressperson and they push for HR 40 study bill to be pushed forward, and also compel President Biden to sign an executive order to get it done.